Hello everyone, this is Chris, and what we see right here is a rune portal which just so happened to spawn inside of a village. Two very completely different structures which try to coexist in the exact same spot. Having the ability to get two different sets of loot in the exact same place while only having to travel to essentially one single area is already pretty cool as it is. But what if I told you that today's seed, which is on screen right now, not only has two different structures coinciding in the same place, but instead has 6 to 7 different types of structures, all in one single area? That sounds basically impossible to have any type of seed spawning with that many things in one place. But let me just say that this seed does deliver, as I shall show. But first off, let me talk about the spawn a little bit. So you spawn in right around here, right on the edge of a plains biome, right next to a forest, right next to a desert, and right next to savanna with these not crazy savanna mountains, but because there are so many of these savanna hills, that means you get some pretty interesting inclines up and down and in such a pretty decent distance. But spawn really isn't the thing we are focusing on. What we're focusing on in this is this one area that has so many different things. Now, unfortunately, you do have to travel about, what would this be, about maybe 900 or so blocks to get to the area, but in the end, if you want to just travel to one particular area to get yourself so many different types of things, then I think this one journey will be well worth it. Now, unfortunately, you do have some pretty big desert hills to head over. Like, you don't really see desert hills too often. I mean, when you think of desert, you think of very flat areas. But to get to the area, you do have to travel over a few of these desert mountains, which at least are kind of cool. At least they're kind of unique. You don't really see too many of them. But when you get over them, when you get to past these desert hills, you will eventually come across the craziest type of structural generation I think I have ever seen. Look at this. Look at this insanity. Now, when I first saw this seed, the first thing I told myself is, where do I even start with an area like this? Because there is so many different types of things to check out right here. I guess first off, we should talk about this one desert temple, which honestly, to get into it is actually pretty easy, and digging down is also fairly easy too. It is completely pitch black as I am demonstrating right now, but yeah, to get yourself 4 different types of loot chests right here, which I broke one by accident. Like let's ignore that. But yeah, to get yourself 4 different types of loot chests right when you first get to this one area, pretty cool. But yeah, that's not where the insanity ends, because if you just head yourself in this way a little bit, you'll eventually come across a village. Now, villages I mentioned plenty times, but you get yourself so many different types of crops, of wheats, of other types of things like that. So, along with your 4 loot chests, you also get yourself basically an infinite supply of food to start you off with. But it's not all easy, because you also have to deal with these guys right here, which just so happen to spawn in the same area as well. The Pillager Outpost. Now, the unfortunate thing, because it did spawn in a village, it already thinks it has an iron golem. It's around here somewhere. It already thinks it has an iron golem. There it is. So, unfortunately, you don't get the iron golem that would normally spawn inside this cage, but you still get the one which will help you out in this crazy situation with all these types of things around here. Now, I'm not entirely certain, but I think this one building right here looks to be a blacksmith. But because of the pillager outpost, it overrun it, and which means you unfortunately don't get the blacksmith loot right here, just the first little bit of the blacksmith. But I think the desert temple will more than cover your needful loot. And if it doesn't, then I'm sure the Rune Portal right next to these pumpkin target places will suffice, with another chest right here with some random loot. This loot honestly isn't that great, but still, to get yourself a Rune Portal with some gold, with some lava, and with other types of things right in this one little area, insanity. And I guess because, like, if you are going to use this seed, you probably are going to use this rune portal. Let's show you what's actually on the other side of this one rune portal. Now this would be very hilarious if like the structure stacking would continue on into the nether, but unfortunately this is where it kind of ends, because inside the nether here you just get yourself the Crimson Forest. I can never remember the names of these, but you get yourself the Crimson Forest, which if you do want to do some piglin trading, or if you want to do other things like that in this area, then this is definitely the place to head to. And if you think the insanity of having all these structures was already crazy enough, then yeah, you've not seen anything yet, because there is still more to be found in this one area, because dig yourselves down here pretty deep. It's a pretty deep dig all the way down here. You'll eventually come across the Stronghold. Yes, the Stronghold is also in the exact same spot as everything else, which is still also very, very crazy, very insane to see everything basically in the exact same place. And once again, this is not where the insanity ends for this one area, because back on the surface, if you dig yourselves down this way, yeah, once again, we are digging ourselves down pretty far. If you head yourself down this way, you'll eventually come into the, abandoned Mineshaft, too. Another pretty rare structure you only see once every now and then. And yeah, to have another structure, it's kind of a structure. You kind of count this as one huge structure. To have another structure in this one area, I could say how insane this is over and over again, but you're probably understanding just how rare and insane this one type of area really is. And because we haven't dug down enough today, let's dig down to another area, because this area also has a zombie spawner right inside this one mineshaft. So you saw the one cave spider spawner we found a little bit over there. If you want to make yourself a potential double mob farm, I'm not exactly sure if they're close enough, but if you want to try and make yourself a double mob farm, then this is definitely the area to head to. I mean, it's an area to head to anyway with all the other stuff, but yeah, to put on top of that, if you want to make a double mob farm, this is probably the area to head to as well. And yeah, that's pretty much the insanity of this one area. And even though, like, I couldn't find any other structures in this one single area, there are a couple other ones that's relatively close, just not exactly in the same area, such as a few little ruins seeing yourself just outside of here. And because there is two of them, does that make it 9? Can we count this as 9 structures now? Let's just say this is one big structure. And yeah, to find yourself some buried treasure. And actually, let's see if we can find the map and see where this buried treasure is, because I think treasure, the treasure chest, is actually counted as a structure as well. So let's see if we could find the chest and the treasure chest as well. Finally found it. Finally found it. It was basically impossible to find this one place because it was covered under so much stone. But yeah, if you want to find that one chest, then that is the area. And let's see if we could find this one treasure chest too. So by heading yourselves over to these coordinates right here, which is unfortunately away from that insanity over there, you'll eventually come across your treasure chest. So you can find your Heart of the Sea, some iron, lots of iron stuff, some chainmail, and all the treasure things you could ever want. And there's one more little structure pretty close to this one area, which I figure talking about. This guy right here, the desert well. I mean, where else in this entire desert are you gonna find water? Oh, if only that was the case. If only that was the case. I hope this doesn't do anything too bad to the PC, but oh, if only that was the case. I actually handled it a lot better than I thought it would. Huh. But yeah, if you're willing to travel a couple hundred blocks to this one area, then it is well worth it. Like, seriously, I don't think I've seen so many structures in a single area until I found this one seed. And let me ask you all, if you ever find another seed with like this, where it has so many different types of structures in one single area, please do leave it down below in the comments, because I'm curious now. Can we beat this? Can we beat finding the 6 to 7 types of structures in this one single area? I don't know. It'd be cool to find out. But yeah, for now, that's pretty much all I have for you. So thanks for watching, and I will see you all later.